my name is Becky May from Front Yoga, and this is a home practice sequence that I've designed for my lovely friend Heather. Just a very well-rounded, hopefully around 40-minute morning wake-up practice. Okay, so we're going to start in child's pose. So just come onto your hands and knees. Your child's pose could be wide knees with the big toes touching or knees together for classic child's pose. And classic child's pose, the hands are back by the feet with the palms up, shoulders dropping forward. Make sure the forehead is supported on the floor. If it doesn't reach the floor, put a block under it. If the hips don't touch the heels, maybe put a rolled up blanket or cushion beneath the hips. So just going to use this posture as our settling in, our arrival posture. You've just woken up. It can be really nice to just come into this gentle inversion. Just put your head on the floor. It's almost like a prayer. Set your intention for your practice. What is it that you wish to bring in with this practice? How do you want to set up your day? And we touch the earth with our forehead, kind of in reverence to ourselves for taking this time to practice and to the tradition and history of yoga that we're part of every time we practice. And also just use these first few breaths to just feel into the body, settle into the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the hands forward and press up to tabletop. Hands and knees, so knees directly underneath the hips, hands directly underneath the shoulders. And we're going to just start to warm up the spine with some cat-cow. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, draw the shoulders back and look up to your eyebrows. So it's like a ripple of motion that travel up the spine. And exhale, tailbone tucks under. Feel that wave of motion travel up the spine, push the upper back to the ceiling, chin to chest, look down the tip of your nose. So move between those two positions with your breath. Inhaling into the cow, tailbone lifts, belly drops, look up. Exhaling into the cat, pressing actively through the hands to stretch the skin of the upper back to the ceiling as we draw the pelvis under. It's like we're initiating the movement with the tailbone each time and completing it with the head and the eyes each time. And just feeling into your spine, how it is this morning, if you're practicing in the morning, whatever part of the day it is. And then at the end of your next exhale, just return to a neutral spine and bring the hands just ever so slightly in front of the shoulders. We're going to tuck the toes and find our way into a downward dog. So you might want to just ease yourself into this first downward dog, just walking the heels, stretching out the lower calf, Achilles tendon, but eventually just settling into the full posture, descending the heels. It doesn't matter if they don't touch the floor. Expanding and dynamically stretching the fingers with space between the fingers so you can see the mat. Drop the head between the upper arms so the neck is long. Roll the upper arms away from the ears so there's space around the ears. Firm up the front of your thighs by drawing up on the kneecap. And connect to your core by lifting on the pelvic floor and drawing the navel to the spine. Slow, deep breaths. And then from here, at the end of your exhale, just look forward. We're going to walk the feet forward. So if you need to take the hands off the floor, of course, do so. But we walk the feet towards the hands until the feet are about underneath the hips. And we're hanging over our legs in a forward fold. So you can just hold the opposite elbow, drop the head, bend the knees as much as you need here. Strong legs, but the body and torso is relaxed. So you can even just kind of nod and shake the head and let the torso move a little bit here, but feel the legs very strong. And at the end of the next exhale, hands to the hips, bend the knees, find your core, push through the legs to bring yourself up to stand with a flat back. Step to the front of the mat, find Tadasana, the mountain pose. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, reach into the fingertips, drop the tailbone, draw up on the kneecaps to engage the thighs. Start to breathe into the upper chest, connecting to your breath. Feel steady like a mountain here. And we're going to do just 2 or 3 sun salutations. So use the breath. So as you inhale, take the hands up, reach and stretch. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, drop the head, fold in. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back to plank, so the shoulders are above the wrists. If that's too much, bring the knees down. But otherwise, just strong legs, strong core. Take an extra breath here. And then as we exhale, knees come down, hips stay high. Kind of keep the hips back as we take the chin and the chest down just in front of the hand. So we're in this concave curve in the spine. And then inhale up to your back bend. So your elbows might be quite bent for this first one. Chest moves forward, look up. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward dog. Taking 3 to 5 slow deep breaths here. Hands and feet foundation, connection to breath, connection to core, lifting on the pelvic floor. And at the end of the exhale, look forward, walk, step, jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Press through the feet. Inhale, raise the hands above the head, palms come together, look up. Exhale, return the hands to the side. Tadasana. Number 2, inhale, take the hands up, legs strong, feet grounded. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bring the hands down to the floor, drop the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands on the floor, step back to plank or tabletop. Inhale here, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, lowering down, knees down, chin and the chest down, hips stay high. So it's like you're really kind of sticking your bum up into the air here. And then inhale into your back bend, shoulders back, chest forward, look up. Exhale, downward dog. Drop the head between the upper arms, look back to the feet, spread the toes, spread the fingertips, connect to your core, firm the legs. And breathe deep. Breathe into the parts of the back where it feels tight, restricted, asymmetrical. Ironing out asymmetries with our breath. The end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step, jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the head to the shins, folding in. Inhale, take the hands up above the head, reach and stretch, dropping down through the heel bones and the tailbone as we stretch up. Exhaling, hands to the side. And one more. Inhale, strong legs, take the hands up, look up. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, step back to plank. Body in a straight line, inhaling here. Exhale, you could do as we did before, you could keep the knees off the floor and lower down to chaturanga or the mat. Inhale, come up to your back bend, look up and exhale, downward dog. And take some slow deep breaths here in downward dog. Anchoring the hands and the feet, your strong foundations, really feel rooted and strong in your limbs here. Feel connected to your core at the centre of the posture. One more breath. And at the end of the exhale, look forward. Walk, step or jump the feet to the hands. Look up and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press through the feet, raise the hands, stretch, look up. Roots down, branches up. And exhale, hands to the side, Tadasana, mountain pose. And then we turn to face the long edge of the mat. We're going to come into triangle. So take your hands out to the side, your feet are somewhere between your elbows and your wrists. Turn your left foot in, your right foot out, heels in line, and the hips don't move, hips stay facing forward. Inhale here and exhale, slide, lean to the right, when you can't go any further, bring the right hand down to meet whatever it meets, right leg, right foot, left hand reaches up to the ceiling and we look up to the top hand. Spread the toes, open the soles of the feet, firm up the thighs, draw the tailbone under to connect with your core, lift on the pelvic floor, breathe deep. One more breath. And then inhale, coming up, kind of windmilling the hands up. Turn the right foot in, turn the left foot all the way out, hips don't move. Inhale here and exhale, slide the torso to the left this time. And again, when you can't stretch any further, release the left hand down, take the right hand up. And if it's okay on your neck, look up. Feel very strong in the legs, drawing up on the kneecaps, opening the soles of the feet and the toes to connect with the earth, finding your core connection. And slow deep breaths, most important of all. One more breath. And then inhale to come up. Turn the left foot in. So we're just going to widen the stance a little bit. And again, turn left foot in, right foot out, hips don't move, same as before. Reach through the fingertips as you inhale, and as you exhale, this time we bend the right leg and we bring the right elbow to the thigh, palm up, and the left upper arm comes up and over for Pars Vakonasana, the side angle pose. So we're looking for this long line through the left side of the body. Left hand faces the floor, left palm faces the floor. If it's okay on your neck, look up to the left hand to encourage the rotation of the chest up to the ceiling. If you're more open, the right hand can come down to the floor, but don't let the hip pop up to achieve that. If it does, come back, elbow to thigh. Couple more breaths. Great, and then inhale, straighten the right leg, come up, and we'll just change sides. So turn the right foot in, left foot out, hips don't move. Inhale, open here. Exhale, bend the left leg, elbow to thigh, right arm comes up and over, palm facing the floor, and again look to the right palm to open the chest up to the ceiling. You're really anchoring down through the back foot, so the little toe edge of the back foot sealed to the floor so that you can reach away dynamically. Try not to collapse the left ear into the left shoulder. You're kind of pushing actively through the left elbow on the thigh to keep space around the left ear. And then on your next inhale, come up, turn the left foot in, still quite a wide stance, maybe bring the feet slightly closer together, hands on the hips, inhale, roll the shoulders back, open the chest, look up, and exhale, forward fold. Release the hands to the floor, drop the head. 5 or so breaths here, legs active, so lift the inner arches of the feet. Almost like you're spreading the mat with your feet here. To open up around the sacrum, the tailbone, sit bones. Back of the neck's long, top of the head descends. And at the end of the exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, come all the way up with a flat back. And step the feet together. So we're going to come into a warrior sequence. So step to the front of the mat again. We're going to step the left foot back quite far, heels are in line, or you could take your right foot about a foot's width out to the right. Bring the hands to the hips and use your hands to encourage the left hip to come forward. So we want both hips facing forward, the back foot, the toes in front of the heel, and we're pressing down through the whole of the sole of the back foot. Sink into this right leg, so we bend the right knee, bend the right leg so the knee is above the ankle or behind. Inhale the hands up for warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. And if it's okay on your neck, look up to the hands. Palms can be together, or if the shoulders are tight, just have them shoulder width apart, palms facing each other. Elongating the tailbone down as best you can, connecting to your core. Slow, deep breaths. One more breath. Now we open out to warrior 2. So usually we have to widen the stance a little bit here. So you might need to just rearrange your feet a little bit. We're still in the same bent leg position, but now the hips face the long edge of the mat. We're sideways on, and we look forward over the middle right fingers whilst reaching back through the left fingers. Dropping the tailbone, connecting to your core, lifting on the pelvic floor. Strong back leg. And then let's change it to reverse warrior. Bring the left hand onto the left leg and reach up and maybe back with the right hand, breathing into the right side waist. Keeping that lunge in the front leg. Inhale, return to warrior 2. And exhale, straighten the right leg. And let's just pivot and do all of that on the other side. So we're going to pivot to face the left. Start again with the hands on the hips. This time we're encouraging the right hip forward. You might want to step the left foot out just a little bit, just to give a bit more space to bring the right hip forward. Inhale here and then exhale, bend the left leg, really gluing the back foot to the floor, pushing out through the back little toe edge, dropping the tailbone. Inhale, raise the hands, palms together or shoulder width apart. Look up if it's okay for your balance. Warrior one, so strong warrior breath. Use your breath to carry you through the stronger postures. Strong back leg, press through the heel of the front foot, the little toe edge of the back foot. And then we open out to warrior two. So we just turn to face the long edge of the mat, maybe widen the legs a little bit. Just make any little rearrangements to the feet. Look over your middle left fingers whilst reaching back through the right. So left knee is above or slightly behind that ankle. Right toes, if possible, slightly in front of the heel. Or the little toe edge at least parallel to the back of the mat. Warrior breath. And then finishing the sequence with reverse warrior. Right hand to right leg, reach the left hand up and back, keeping in that lunge of the front leg. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, return to warrior two. And exhale, sweet relief, straighten the leg. And just walk the feet in towards each other and come to Tadasana. So just before we come down to the floor, we're going to take a balance. It's always good to do a balance in your practice, improves with practice. So bring the feet together for Tadasana and hands by the sides. We're going to balance on the left leg first. We're going to take the tree. So firm up the left leg, spread the toes, keep the left hip sucking into the centre. Inhale, raise the right knee, hug the right knee into the chest for a moment, either hands around the front of the shin or the back of the knee. Opening the back of the left knee, and then take the sole of the right foot to the inner thigh, above the knee, if available, otherwise below the knee, inner calf, or possibly inner ankle, toe on the floor. Okay, so just don't press the knee joint, above or below the knee, and then press the heel into the standing leg, resist with the standing leg, so we're sucking everything into the centre line, spreading the toes, rooting down through the feet, shoulders rolling back, chest open. Find a steady gaze on the floor, something that's not moving. Stay here, or inhale, raise the hands above the head, and exhale, open into the full tree. Our hands slightly wider than shoulder distance apart, fingertips spreading, active, roots down, branches up, shoulders drawing down the spine away from the ears. Connect to your core, lift on the pelvic floor, draw navel to spine. And then on an inhale, bring the hands, the palms together above the head again. I'm slightly compromised here by the beam. Exhale, bring the hands back to the chest, thumbs touch chest. Inhale here. Exhale, release the right foot to join the left, release the hands to the side. Mountain pose. Just going to step to the right, to the other side. Okay, so right side now, so become super aware of your right standing leg, firm the thigh, spread the toes, keep the right hip sucking in. As you inhale, trying to keep the spine upright, lift the left knee, draw the knee towards the chest, roll the shoulders back, press down through the heel bone of the right foot to open the back of the right knee, and then change it to Vrikasana, the tree, so bring the heel of the left foot to the inner right thigh, toes point down, or below the knee joint on the inner calf or ankle. Don't press the knee joint. Press actively into the standing leg, resist with the standing leg, feel yourself grow as you do that. Inhale, raise the hands up through the centre line of the body, and exhale, open to the full posture. Shoulder blades activating, drawing together and down the spine without losing the extension in the arms. Hands very active, you're stretching the skin of the palms here. Finding your steady gaze, steady breath. Connect to your breath, connect to your deep core. And then inhale, palms together above the head. Exhale the hands back to the sternum, thumbs touch sternum. Inhale here. Exhale, left foot joins right, release the hands to the side. And Tadasana. Great. And then we're going to come down to the floor. So when you're ready, come down to a seated posture and to sit on the mat with the legs outstretched in front of you. So we can push out through the soles of the feet here to activate the front of the thighs as if we're kind of standing on the floor, so try to avoid the soles collapsing in towards each other. And we're going to take a seated forward fold. So collect your core, lift up on the pelvic floor, scoop the lower belly in and up. Inhale, raise the hands, lifting out of the lower back, stretching the sideways, and exhale, take the chin and the chest forward, taking the hands to find whatever they find, thighs, shins, maybe the feet. Inhale, lengthen out to the lower back one more time, and then exhale, drop the head, come into your full expression of the posture today. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, but connected to your core, and the front of the thighs are still active. Breathe into the back of the body, at least 5 slow deep breaths. Relax the face, the shoulders. One more deep breath. Keep the toes pointing up to the ceiling. And then on an inhale, slowly coming up. Last thing to come up is the head. Keep the left leg outstretched, and we're going to fold the right thigh here. So we're going to, like the tree posture, flex the right foot and take the sole of the right foot to the inner left thigh with the knee out to the side. And you can always support the outer right thigh if you need with a block or a cushion or something. Connect to your core, keep that left leg active. Inhale, reach up through the side waist, and exhale, come forward again. So another forward fold. Hands meet whatever they meet, drop the head. And breathe into the back body. Keeping the left leg active, toes to the ceiling, pressing out through the left heel, and also pressing out through the right heel. So same as in tree, it's like you're pushing that right heel into the inner left thigh. Keeping the right foot actively flexed as well as the left foot. And then inhale, slowly come up. Last thing to come up is the head. And just bring that right knee in. And we're going to take a twist here, so bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. Right hand behind you. Inhale, stretch up through the left side, keeping the left leg active. Exhale, twist towards the right and just hug the knee into the crook of the right elbow, or left elbow presses to the outside of the right knee, palm faces forward. Look over your right shoulder and take deep breaths, inhaling to lengthen the spine, exhaling to possibly deepen the twist. And at the end of your next exhale, turn to the front, unravel the spine, release the leg, and we'll repeat those 2 postures on the other side. So now your right leg is outstretched, and we're going to bend the left leg, bring the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh, so both feet are flexed. Find your core, so lift from pelvic floor, scoop the navel in and up towards the spine. Inhale, raise the hands, get long through the side waist, and exhale, reach the chin and the chest forward. Hands come to meet whatever they meet, thigh, lower leg, foot. Inhale, lengthen out to the lower back. Exhale, drop the head. 5 slow deep breaths. And again, maybe you're beyond the foot, reaching for the opposite wrist. Breathe into the back body. Keep some core awareness, keep some contraction of navel to spine, pelvic floor lifting. And at the exhale, slowly bring yourself up, and we'll turn it into the twist, so raising the left knee. Step the left foot to the outside of the right knee, keeping the right leg active, toes to the ceiling. Your left hand is your prop behind you. Inhale, reach up, get long through the right side and cross over the body to bring your right elbow to the outside of the left knee, or maybe just hugging the elbow in the crook of the elbow, hugging the knee in the crook of the elbow. And we look over or towards our left shoulder, dropping down through the pelvis, lifting up through the spine. Slow deep breaths, broad across the collarbone, spaciousness in the lower back. Breathe into the kidney area. And at the end of the exhale, turn to the front, unravel. And we're going to move on to some hip work. So come to sit in a wide leg straddle position, about 45 degrees or whatever's right for you, and keep the legs active. Ideally the toes are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. And you can just arrange yourself first by taking the hands behind you and feeling like you're moving onto the base of the pelvis, so you might feel both bony sit bones protruding down into the mat. That's what we're looking for here. If you feel like you're going to tip back, you could keep the hands here and just let this be your posture. But otherwise, find your core, lift on the pelvic floor, navel to spine, and inhale, reach up, and exhale, take the hands in front of you. And then just let this be about 5 to 10 breaths. Just take the hands forward as far as is right for you until you find your edge here. And your edge is the place where you feel something shifting and changing and stretching, perhaps some intensity on probably the inner thighs and hips, but you can still relax, you can still breathe deeply and fully, and you can still smile. If you can't do any of those things, you've probably gone too far. Come back. So find your edge and breathe. You can also do this alternatively with the hands on the feet. Some people prefer that, but I find more control just taking the hands out. Slow deep breaths, breathing into the inner thighs, inner hips, lower back, everywhere you're feeling this. End of your next exhale, slowly walking the hands back in. And we're going to move from inner hips to outer hips. So just take the hands behind the knees to help you bring the feet in. We're going to come into the fire log position, or an alternative. So to set up for this, we're going to bring the left shin, so it's parallel to the edge of the mat. So the foot is in line with the knee, it's not back towards the groin. And then if it's available to you, you're going to slide the right leg in from the side and stack the shins. So both feet are flexed, and you end up with the shins on top of each other and the soles of the feet pretty much flush with the outer edge of the opposite thigh. This is quite strong, it's a strong hip opener, and you definitely don't want any pain in the knees. If this isn't for you, if there's pain in the knees, there are alternatives. If your knee is high but there's no pain, that's okay, and you can even put a block underneath the knee, support the knee on the block. But if there's pain, you can just either slip the right shin in front of the left shin, so you've still got the shins kind of very close to each other, and in both these options, as you look down, you should see a triangle pointing towards you. And if even that's too much, you just come more towards cross legs, so you just bring the ankles back towards you and you lose the triangle shape. But ideally for this posture, we're looking for that triangle shape, so either shin stacked or one shin in front. Okay, but just really listen to your body. And then just take the fingertips down either side of the hips, just tune in, possibly pretty intense already. So you might just want to stay upright. But just experiment. If you feel there's a little bit more space, can you take the chin and the chest forward? Can you maybe bring the hands in front of the shins? And that's going to increase the stretch around the outer hips, keep the feet flexed. And again, slowly just find your edge, walking the hands forward if there's more space, until you find that place where, yes, there's intensity, but it's nothing you can't cope with. You can breathe fully, you can smile, you can relax. So breathe into the stretch, breathe into the parts of the body where you're feeling this. Breathe through the intensity. Sometimes when it's super intense, all kinds of things can arise. Nausea, kind of fluttery feeling, emotions like anger or sadness, just whatever arises, breathe through it, let it move. A few more breaths. And then slowly at the end of your next exhale, walk the hands in if you folded forward. Bring yourself up. Take the hands behind you so that you can come out, and maybe between sides you just want to extend the legs and just move a little bit, get the blood moving again, and then we'll go to the other side. So the setup for this is very specific. The shin is parallel to the edge of the mat. The heel is in line with the knee. And then your options, fire lock, you swing the left leg in from the side and with both feet flexed, stack the shin so the sole of each foot is flush with the outer opposite thigh. Quite an intense posture, so if that's not for you, just drop the left shin in front, but trying to keep the feet forward so you've still got that triangle pointing towards you shape as you look down. And of course, if none of that's okay in the knees, just simply cross the legs. Okay, so something for everyone. And then taking the spine vertical, fingertips either side of the hips, just breathe here. Tune in, this side might be completely different. If you know there's more space, take the chin and the chest forward, maybe bring the hands in front of the shins, and again just start the journey here of walking the hands forward till you reach your edge. And then slow deep breaths. And maybe after a few breaths the edge might shift, it might open up a little bit more, or it might conversely retract a little bit more. So really stay tuned in, let your breath be your guide. And at the end of your next exhale, slowly walking the hands back in. Again, just take the hands behind you so that you can come out of the posture, maybe just extend the legs, move them a little bit, the energy going. Great. I'm just going to do a little bit of core before we come down onto our backs. So, we're going to take the boat pose, we're going to do 2 rounds. So we come onto the toes with the knees bent, and we're going to try and keep the big toe edges of the feet touching the whole way through, and take the arms out in front of you. So lift up out of the lower back, draw the shoulders back and down, lift the chest up to the ceiling, lean back until you can bring the toes off the floor. So this is stage 1, you can stay here. Stage 2, feet are parallel to the knees, full posture, legs are straight. Keep drawing the shoulders back, lifting out of the lower back, navel to spine, slow deep breaths. Full breaths. Couple more. Focus on the breath, not the body sensations. And exhale, release. Just take a little moment, maybe just wrap the forearms around the shins, drop the head. Take a couple of recovery breaths. And then we've got round 2. So same as before, we set up, we come onto the toes, we lift out to the lower back, draw the shoulders back, lift the chest, lean back so the toes can come off the floor. This could be your boat, or halfway, or full. Navasana. Look to the feet, breathe deep. Focus on full breaths. You can do this. 2 more. And release. And hug the knees. Take a little moment. And then come down onto your back. So find your way down onto the floor for a bridge. Supported bridge, Setu Bandhasana. So we'll do 2 rounds here. So heels to buttock, hip distance apart. Try not to let the toes spread out to the sides, splay out to the sides. Try and widen the heels and bring the toes towards each other to parallel the feet. And then when you're ready, inhale, press through the feet and the hands, start to lift the hips up to the ceiling. Maybe if you're high up the back, tucking the shoulders underneath you and interlacing the hands, or you can just continue to press down through the hands. Trying to press down through the inner edges of the feet, as well as the outer edges. So we stop the feet splaying. Feel you're squeezing a block between the thighs. Breathe the chest to the chin, opening the front of the body. Feet and legs working hard. And then an exhale, lower down, releasing the bind of the hands if you took the bind, and place the vertebrae one by one from the top to the lower back, and just take a couple of resting breaths, maybe shuffling the shoulders back, feet forward. Just a mini rest. We're going to come straight into our second back bend. So you can repeat what we just did. If you're working towards the wheel, you could come halfway to the wheel, or maybe even up to the wheel, or yeah, just the same as before. So the setup is the same. Heels to buttocks, feet parallel, hands down either side of the hips. Inhale, press through the hands and the feet, lift the hips up, maybe drawing the shoulders underneath, maybe interlacing the hands. Staying here for 5 slow deep breaths, or possibly taking the hands under the shoulders with the fingertips pointing towards the feet, lift up onto the top of the head, bring the elbows towards each other, press through the feet, and maybe, if you're ready for it, the wheel. Pushing up onto the hands. So either half wheel, or Setu Bandhasana. And when you've done 5 breaths, full breaths, focusing on quality, not quantity. Again, we slowly come down. If you're in the wheel or half wheel, tuck the chin in first, and then slowly vertebra by vertebra, we place the spine back on the mat. Shuffle the shoulders back, take the feet forward, let the inner knees rest against each other. Take a moment here, rest. Deep breaths. And then a counter posture. Just first of all, take the legs up to the ceiling, take the arms overhead and stretch them out. Run out of space, so I'm going to hold my opposite elbow, but otherwise I would be stretching my arms all the way out. Breathe into the back body. And then bring the knees into the chest, take the hands forward, interlace the hands around the shin or the back of the knees. Breathe into the lower back here. Relax the shoulders, the face, the jaw. And then release the legs. We're going to take an inversion. Our inversion today is going to be the plough and the shoulder stand. So I'm taking my hair bobble out because you can't really do that very easily with your hair in a ponytail. If you don't want to do shoulder stand, you could either go to the wall, swing your legs up the wall and rest the legs up the wall, or, as I'm showing here, take your hands underneath the buttocks, or put a block underneath the sacrum and just elevate the legs like this. So we still get a nice inversion for the legs, resting the legs, feet relatively active, feet and legs quite active here. Okay, otherwise if we're going for shoulder stand, we make sure we're centrally aligned, remembering once we're up in the inversion we don't want to move the head side to side at all, just keep looking up. And then we press through the hands. We need a little bit of momentum to push and take the feet overhead. Now if the feet don't touch down, bend the elbows and support the lower back with the hands. But if the feet touch down, we can come into the plough. We can, if possible, come onto the tops of the feet, onto the toenails, and then we can interlace the hands. If it's not possible to interlace the hands, just press the palms down or even hold the edges of the mat can be helpful. Otherwise we press, we root down through the little fingers, and then we really activate the thighs. Whether the feet are on the floor or off the floor, really activate the legs. So draw on the kneecaps, lift the thighs up away from the face, to lift the hips and elongate the spine. So if the feet are off the floor, you're still strong legs. Lifting kneecaps, pelvic floor, hips ascending up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to transition from here into shoulder stand. So bend the elbows, support the low back. You can do this with bent or straight legs, but we're just going to take the feet up towards the ceiling. Walk the hands as far down the back as is right for you. I tend to try and find skin to skin contact at that point, so clothes can be a bit slippy. And there's a dynamic stretching up through the legs here. We're pointing, kind of half pointing the feet, and the big toes are together, and we're stretching up through the side body all the way up through the legs. So we're dynamically reaching up to the ceiling with our body here. Grounding down through the elbows, not moving the head, keeping core awareness. Legs active, imagine you're squeezing an imaginary block. And keep the breath slow, deep and relaxed to signal to the body, safe. We're stimulating the vagus nerve here, which is really good for calming. So keep everything very calm. And then to come out, we'll come back through the plough. So hinge at the hips, keep supporting the body, take the feet back down. And then your hands are your brakes here. Again, it can be helpful to hold the edges of the mat, but we press through the hands and we, as best we can, roll out vertebra by vertebra. So if the back is tight, it's not going to be possible to do that, but as best we can, we try and roll out with control. And when we get to legs vertical, we have the choice. If we've got a weak low back or low back issues, we can bend the knees or single leg lower. Otherwise, if we feel safe to do so in the low back, we double leg lower, the legs to the floor with the legs super active. Core and legs working together. And then just arrive on the floor, just take a little kind of candlestick pose or like mountain pose on your back, fully aligned. And then we come to our counter posture, the fish. So for the fish, hold onto your outer hips and then just press the elbows into the floor to bring yourself up. And press down through the elbows to lift the chest. So we're arching the spine actively, lifting the space behind the heart and then dropping the head back. This is the counter posture. When we drop the head back, we open the throat. So breathe into the throat, the chest, the front body. Keep actively lifting the space behind the heart, buttocks on the floor. And then bringing yourself out, bring the chin back to the chest, walk the elbows out, slowly come down onto the mat again, take a little rest here. And we're nearly ready for Shavasana, but there might be just one more thing the body would like to do. I'm going to offer a cross twist and happy baby, but listen to yourself, you might need something else, Supta Baddha Konasana or knees to chest. But here we're going to bring the knees up towards the ceiling and just let the knees come over to the left, extending the right arm out in line with the shoulder and looking out over the right shoulder. Relaxing the right shoulder blade, breathing into the right shoulder, upper arm, upper chest. right side of the belly. One more deep breath here. And then find your core. Bring the navel to the spine as you lift the knees back to the centre and roll them out to the right, extending the left arm in line with the shoulder, maybe resting the right hand on the left thigh. Look over the left shoulder, and again just release all the muscles around the left shoulder blade, breathing into this area that's being opened in the upper left chest and arm and shoulder, left sideways, left lower belly, left hip. Really slow the breath down as we move towards the end of the class, releasing breaths. And then again, core awareness, inhale your way back to the centre, and then maybe take a happy baby or a knees to the chest. So taking hold of the outer edges of the feet, or maybe the ankles or the backs of the knees, knees towards the armpits, shins vertical, feet flexed. Slow, deep breaths, releasing breaths. And then slowly bringing the knees back together, maybe just bringing the head to the knees. One final squeeze of everything in, and then take Shavasana. So taking the legs out, feet slightly wider than hip distance, arms away from the side, palms up, checking your central alignment. Maybe take a couple of deep breaths and breathe out through the mouth, letting go. And then just let go of any breath control, breath effort. Just let the breath take care of itself, let the body soften. How much of your skin on the back of your body can you release into the mat? Are there any parts of the body withholding or not quite surrendering to the support of the floor? How much of your body can you soften here? Relax the jaw, a little gap between the teeth. The lips ever so gently closed. Eyes rolling back in their sockets, cheeks and forehead and temples smooth. Feeling like the skin on the chest is just gently letting go of any tension, gravities, drawing it towards the floor, relaxing tension. The belly is totally soft, buttocks are soft. And the big muscles in the thighs and the back, and the lower legs, soft. The fingers are gently curled in, the hands relaxed, the feet relaxed, arms relaxed, whole body relaxed, whole body relaxed. yourself dissolve and expand. And then if you have longer and you wish to stay in Shavasana for longer, then please stay. Take as long as you wish here. But if you're closing the class with me today, just start to bring your awareness back to your body lying on the floor. Bring your awareness to your breath and consciously begin to deepen the breath again. And when you feel ready, just start to move the fingers and the toes and maybe slowly move the head side to side. And then maybe you want a deeper stretch, or you're wanting a big arms overhead pushing out through the feet. Maybe you want to draw the knees into the chest and give yourself one last hug here. And then in your own time, just roll to one side, maybe take a breath here. And when you're ready, from here, just use your hands to push yourself back up to seated. And we'll just close this class consciously. I'm going to make the sound of Om. Join in if you wish, as a way of just sealing in the energy of the class, harnessing that energy and directing it to where it's needed. So let it be your sound that emerges, any pitch, any tone, and just follow the exhale all the way to its natural completion. Remembering that Om is 3 syllables, Aum. So take a deep breath in to prepare. If the eyes are closed, just blinking them open, letting the world back in again. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you again soon.